Hello to college. This is CBL Talk Show, and I'm Benjamin Montazzi.
I'm Lene Jackson.
And we're here with the talk show today.
All right, I'm sure all of you know how to do this by now, is schedule for your courses. Well, you should all have gotten one of these with when you're going to be scheduling next, because spring schedule is coming up pretty fast.
Yes, it is.
So seniors are supposed to schedule their courses November 4th. And juniors, November 6th, which is a Thursday. Sophomores, November 11th, which is a Tuesday. And all others, November 13th. So for example, if you have questions on how to do so, say I want to schedule for U.S. history since 1877. Choose what you want, go on to self-service. You want to schedule your courses through this way by clicking and searching U.S. history, for example, or even using the course code. You can also, if you have any questions, go to the records office and talk to Denise and Debbie. They're ahead and they know exactly what you need to do if you have any questions. Also, there's been some issues of people forgetting their password if they've changed it.
Oh, isn't that wonderful?
Yes, I work for the records office, so I've had people come in and say they don't remember their password because they've changed it. If you haven't changed it, it's your ID password is, well, your ID number with an exclamation point, which is also your username, which is your ID number. So if you somehow forget what you changed it to, I would first go to the IT department because they can access your computer and just go in there and find information that maybe you don't want them to find. But so if you have any questions, definitely go to the records office, which is in Rote Hall, and talk to Debbie and Denise, and they can definitely help you with that.
I'd just like to add that November 3rd, honor students get to register earlier.
I did not know that. Good point.
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
But is there any tips that you would give to incoming freshmen?
Oncoming freshmen? Well, also freshmen have to go through this, or, well, registration day, I guess they had that done for them. So for freshmen, like I said, go to self-service, put in your username, which is your ID number. Your password is ID number with the exclamation point. Then you're able to go in and you hit traditional courses and you start searching and scroll through to find the course that you want and also the time you're able to. Because some courses are at the same time and you want to kind of mix everything together and see what fits best. And you don't, well, you can't schedule for two courses that are at the same time. So usually courses have more than one time available, such as like the U.S. history since 1877. Our Tuesday, Thursdays, one is available 9:30 to 11 o'clock. And it's also offered Tuesday, Thursday from 1 to 2:30. So you just have to mix and match and see what time for which course is most available for you and works for your schedule. And also, credits are important too. If you're full-time, you want to have at least 12 credits. And the most you can get, I think,
18.
Without paying extra is 18, correct?
Yep.
So you can go more than 18 if you desire, but I wouldn't recommend it.
More money.
Yeah,
it's coming straight out of your pocket.
More money. Yeah. So 12 to 18, especially freshmen, if you choose to do only 12 credits, I would pick up more your next semesters, because if you do only 12 to 15 you're getting pretty behind and end up taking 17 to 18 your senior year. So I would definitely recommend at least 16 credits, 15 to 16 credits every semester, and you should be pretty good shape.
Because I'm in the situation where I have to take 18 to 17 credits for the rest. I still got 3 semesters, and I got to take 2 18 credits and 1 17 at least. So
I'm in the same boat.
Yeah, so don't follow our lead, but
no.
That's why we're giving you tips. So.
Yes, we're telling you this now so you do not make our mistakes.
Yes. And as for scheduling, like when to schedule stuff, if you're not a morning person, do not do 8 o'clock. You know, you might be like, I'm so used to high school schedules, maybe I can do 8 o'clock. When you're in college, you'll be up till like 12 or 1. You're not going to want to get up for 8 o'clock class. So suggesting maybe like a 9 or 10 o'clock. You rather have, some people like it more like in that morning. What about you?
Definitely agree. Do not go for the 8 or 8:30 courses, because that is just crazy. Especially when you're up all night doing homework till 2 a.m. Definitely schedule for later courses if possible, but again, if you can only schedule that because that's the only time frame, then you have to. So
any other tips that you would suggest?
also when registering, do not register directly at midnight, because then that's when everybody does it and the system crashes and then you have to wait anyway. So I would wait maybe between 12 and 12:30, possibly even later, but do not wait till the next morning, because the courses that you may need are filled. So you want to try your best to fit them when you can.
Well, that's a lot of information to retain, but we're gonna head to break and we'll be back.
Yep.
Only 10% of us get enough daily exercise.
And that number is dropping.
Nearly 30% of us are overweight or obese.
As a result, we now have a shorter life expectancy than our parents.
But give us the right start in sports, and we'll never stop.
Learn how at activeforlife.ca.
Hi, we're back on CBL Talk Show. I am Christian Kafka, joining Ben Montazzi. Coming up in a week is Halloween, and that's personally one of my favorite holidays. It's widely celebrated for many different reasons in this culture. But a lot of different families practice different traditions and have a lot of fun with Halloween. So Ben, what was any traditions that you had as a child with your family celebrated?
Some traditions that my family always did. We would always go trick-or-treating at this one place called, it's actually like 20 minutes away from here. It's in Mercer. It's called Lake Atonka, and it's a community, and they do trick-or-treating at the same day every year. And we used to go all the time as kids. We used to have 2 big full bags of Aldi bags. Like now it's like 1 Walmart bag because, you know, economy. But we used to get like 2 piles of bags a piece, and it was amazing. But what about you?
When I lived in Maryland, of course, very tight area, and then in the urban area, so we would have candy for some of the kids who were trick-or-treating to come by. We would sometimes make some of our own candies, homemade, or if we got really lazy, we just get a bunch of Kit Kats and Twixes and everything. But we would definitely go around to the church around that area, which was like a few blocks away, hit up, it was called Dundalk, was the town we lived in, and we go all over that. There's so many people, and they're all very kind, and we would go down. They'd have fireworks sometimes to celebrate as well. And then up here, I live in a town called Huntington, Pennsylvania, and we would go through that town, through all the different areas, and trick-or-treat. And now we bring my little brother, who was 10 years old, to go along trick-or-treating as well. Sometimes we'll dress up in costumes and have like horror movie nights and everything as a family to celebrate Halloween. Speaking of the horror movies, what's your favorite, or what's your sort of, a bunch of horror movies that you like, that you enjoy? And why?
I would have to say, I'm starting to get into the Mike Myers series. I was never a fan of those. I was never like watching those, and now I'm like getting into them. Like maybe they're actually coming out with a new Mike Myers, by the way. Yeah, soon. But as a kid, I always liked Freddy and Jason. I love that. I love that Freddy and Jason movie, and then that tease at the end when Freddy blinks. I'm like, you really doing this to us? Like, now you're torturing us even more, because now we're like, now what's gonna happen? But it's like. But I Mike Myers, I'm probably starting to get into it. It's interesting. But
what's making you get into the Mike Myers series?
I don't know. It's like I don't know how. It's just like it makes your heart stop, kind of. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
It makes you want to watch more. Like just like what's gonna happen? You know what's gonna happen. Mike Myers is gonna, but it's always like heart stopping.
Yeah, for me, I was never really afraid of too many horror movies, but all the the Freddy Krueger, Nightmare on Elm Street. That always scared me as a kid. I was always like, oh, I have to make sure I have my lights turned on when I go to sleep because like, oh, if I dream a certain way, Freddy Krueger is gonna come get me. But that series is always one of my favorites. Something about the actor, I think it was Robert Englund, gave me the creeps. And funny story, he was we had a haunted house back in Maryland again where I would live, and they had a little Freddy Krueger stint they would do every time. And the actual actor Robert Englund was going to come play Freddy Krueger, and they're trying to get my mother to go on there because she loved Nightmare on Elm Street, but she was totally terrified as well. So they were trying to drag her to go, and she's like, no, I love it, but I cannot get involved. I will literally pee myself if I'm in this haunted house. So we all tried to get her to go in there, but she wasn't having it at all. There is the zombie prom that's happening at Teal. A bunch of people dressing up for that. That'll be interesting. Or what are you gonna dress up as?
My girlfriend and I are going as Mickey and Minnie Mouse.
What made you decide on those Disney couple?
We just felt like, well, we're Disney fans, big Disney fans in general, but we just feel like that fit our personality more than anything else.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, my one friend, she brought up her white morph mask and suit, so I decided I was gonna be Slender Man because that's been so popular over the past few years. I know a bunch of people were terrified of Slender Man in the game. I had to dress up and mess with some students on campus this past weekend, so I'll definitely have to go as that and see if I can scare more people and steal candy and stuff along those lines.
Not candy, no.
Get some brawls breaking out, but. We're about to go on break, but when we come back, we had a little fun game show we got to have with some of the students, so you'll see that whenever we get back.
Boom.
Leave me alone.
When a child shares hurtful comments online, that's bullying. Visit erasebullying.ca to learn how to help your child stand up to cyberbullying.
Look around you. 1 in 4 kids in the U.S. faces hunger. It's not always easy to see the signs. But in this land of plenty, there are kids that don't know where they will get their next meal. Join Share Our Strength in Food Network and take the pledge to end childhood hunger here in America by 2015. Learn how at nokidhungry.org. Their next meal could come from you.
Hi, we're back at CBL News. I'm Christian Kafka, and this is Benjamin Montazzi. Like I said earlier, we had to have a little trivia-style game show with some of the local students on at Teal, so you guys enjoy. Trivia competition for current NFL news. I'm joined here by Joe. Thanks for being on this trivia game. You can win small cash prizes here. It is either 5 multiple-choice questions, you get 50 cents for each one, or you try the really hard question with no multiple choice for $5 straight up. So which one did you want to do, the hard one, or did you want to do the 5?
Let's do multiple choice.
Multiple choice? All right, are you ready, Joe?
I'm ready.
All right, the first question is, who has given up the most points as a team this season? Is it A, the Atlanta Falcons, B, the Jacksonville Jaguars, C, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, or D, the Oakland Raiders? C is correct. Tampa Bay has given up 200 points. All right, second question. Which quarterback has the 8th best QBR so far? Is it A, Drew Brees, B, Joe Flacco, C, Tom Brady, or D, Eli Manning?
D.
The correct question is Joe Flacco, which no one would expect because he's a Ravens quarterback. All right, which of these teams is not 1 in 6? Is it the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Jacksonville Jaguars, or the New York Jets? This is kind of a trick question here.
Let's go with the New York Jets.
New York Jets, no, they are 1 in 6. The Buccaneers are 1 in 5 because they've had a bye week, so it's a little bit of a trick question there. So that's all right. All right, who currently leads the league in receiving yards? Is it T.Y. Hilton, Antonio Brown, Julio Jones, or Jordy Nelson?
Antonio Brown.
It is Antonio Brown. I thought you were the Steelers.
Yeah.
All right. And we all know DeMarco Murray is the leading rusher in the NFL, but how many yards does he have? Is it 918, 910, 904, or 913?
B.
It is 913.
13.
Yeah, but that's good. You got 2 questions right. You earned $1 for participating in this trivia show. So yeah, exactly. No price to go into it or anything. So
Laundry right there.
here you go. Thank you for participating.
Thank you.
With Mike, he wants to do the 5 multiple choice questions. All right, are you ready, Mike?
I'm ready.
Alrighty, who has given up the most points as a team this season? Is it the Atlanta Falcons, the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, or the Oakland Raiders? Bay Buccaneers. That is correct. That is one for you. Alright, which quarterback has the 8th best QBR this season so far? Is it Drew Brees, Joe Flacco, Tom Brady, or Eli Manning? Joe Flacco. That is correct. Nice on a roll. Which of these teams is not 1-6? Is it the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Jacksonville Jaguars, or the New York Jets? Tampa Bay. That is correct. I like this guy. All right, who currently leads the league in receiving yards? Is it T.Y. Hilton, Antonio Brown, Julio Jones, or Jordy Nelson? That is correct. He's 4 for 4. All right, the last one. How many rushing yards does DeMarco Murray have? Is it 918, 910, 904, or 913? 918. Y'all, you missed the last one. That's all right. All right, you got 4 out of 5. That was pretty darn good. You get $2 for participating. So, all righty. Here you go, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Nice to meet you, man. He wants to do the difficult question with no multiple choice. So the question is, which running back leads the league in yards per carry average?
This year?
This year so far. Who has the leading yards per carry average? Little Henny is a top 10 running back in terms of yards gained so far.
I'm trying to think. Would it be Eric Foster?
Nah, it's not Arian Foster. That was a lot of fun to be able to talk some football trivia with the students. So we thought that we would have a little friendly competition with ourselves here. The person who does not get more trivia questions right than the other will have to wear the other person's favorite team's jersey on the next TV show. So for a Bengals fan, when he wears my Ravens jersey in the next couple of weeks, it'll be a lot of fun to see. So,
This guy.
All right, I guess I'll take the liberty of asking the first question here.
All right, go ahead.
All right. Who was the NFL MVP in 2012? Was it Tom Brady, Adrian Peterson, Peyton Manning, or Aaron Rodgers?
I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers.
Nope, the correct answer is Adrian Peterson. He was one of the last.
I'm thinking Super Bowl.
No.
I'm thinking Super Bowl. Why am I?
Well, you don't get any bonus there, so no. All right.
All right.
All right, so
All right, okay. All right, switching up a little bit, getting out of the NFL. Who won the NBA Finals in 2009? The Heat, the Lakers, Dallas, or Magic? In 2009.
I have to go with Dallas Mavericks on that one.
You are incorrect.
I am incorrect. Who was it on that?
The Lakers.
It was like
they won 4-1 in the series.
That's right. They did, yeah.
And Kobe was MVP.
That's right. Darn, I should have known Lakers. All right, so we're both 0 for 1. All right,
Yes,
it's not looking good. All right, who led the NBA in scoring in the 2009 to 2010 season? Was it Kobe Bryant, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, or Carmelo Anthony?
Oh man, I should know this. I'm an NBA guy. Let's go with Kobe's a ball hog, but we're not gonna go with Kobe. Let's go with Melo.
It was Kevin Durant. You're incorrect on that one.
Okay.
All right, what do you got from here?
Who won the MVP of the NBA season in 2010?
The overall MVP?
Yes, league MVP. Yes. Was it LeBron James, Kevin Garnett, Kobe Bryant, or Derrick Rose?
Has to be LeBron James.
Nope, Derrick Rose.
It was Derrick Rose?
Yeah, Derrick Rose.
When he actually played a season?
Wow, no, that's cruel.
That's why I forgot. I haven't seen him in so long.
Yeah, I know, right?
Man, we are looking horrible so far as trivia game. And just a quick check, if neither of us get one question right, we're both going to wear a jersey. That's just embarrassing if we don't get either question right. All right, who led Major League Baseball in home runs last season? Was it Chris Davis, Miguel Cabrera, Alfonso Soriano, or David Ortiz?
I don't know baseball, but let's go with David Ortiz.
No, it was Chris Davis, my Baltimore Orioles.
Oh, I should have known.
All right, what do you got?
We're doing great, aren't we? All right, staying with baseball. You should get this. Who won the World Series in 2012? Was it the Detroit Tigers, the White Sox, San Francisco Giants, or the New York Yankees?
The San Francisco Giants.
You are correct.
Yeah, I got one right.
You got one.
I'm happy about that. Alrighty, this could be the game changer then.
Basically.
Who is the most recent team in the NFL to win their division with a losing record? Was that the Miami Dolphins, the San Diego Chargers, the Seattle Seahawks, or the New Orleans Saints?
Can you say this again?
It was the Miami Dolphins, the San Diego Chargers, the Seattle Seahawks, or the New Orleans Saints.
I'm just going to go with the Chargers.
No, it was not the Chargers. The Seahawks won 7-9. They ended up beating the Saints in the first round of the playoffs, and Marshall Lynch had that amazing run for 80-plus yards.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Alrighty, it's not looking good for you, Montazzi.
No, it is not.
Alrighty, that's the next question you
I got to make sure you get this wrong. Okay.
Alright.
Who in the past 5 years has won the most championships? Was it in NASCAR? Was it Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Jimmy Johnson, or Tony Stewart?
Oh man, I'm not a NASCAR person. I'm gonna have to go with Dale Earnhardt.
Nope, Jimmy Johnson.
Jimmy Johnson?
Yeah,
I don't watch NASCAR at all, so
6 total.
Euro racing's where it's at. All right, here's my final question for you.
Oh no.
Who holds the single season rushing record in the NFL?
Right now?
Yeah, for all the years now. Overall, for the history, who holds the most rushing yards in a single season? Is it Jamal Lewis, Adrian Peterson, Chris Johnson, or Eric Dickerson?
Chris Johnson.
It is not Chris Johnson. It is Eric Dickerson. Chris Johnson missed it by, I believe, like 100 yards. He was a 2,000. All of them are 2,000-yard rushers, but Dickerson has the record. He beat Peterson by, I believe, 9 yards by the record.
I feel like I let down my sports fans.
You did.
I was 0-5.
All right, well, since I won anyways, let's see the last question.
Yeah, I was going to say,
let's see the last question. All right,
I don't want you I
got to at least get 2 right. I mean,
yeah,
come on.
You're not going to get this. But Masters, who won the Masters in 2012? Was it Tiger Woods, Rory McIlroy, Bubba Watson, or Phil Mickelson?
It was Bubba Watson.
Yes, you were. Oh, wow, you got that right.
You can't miss the shot that he had where he bent it around the trees like that 40 angle. But
you got that right. Wow.
All right, well, our good colleague here is going to be wearing a beautiful Joe Flacco jersey 2 weeks from now, especially after they beat the Bengals this coming weekend. So it'll be even better. Double whammy. But we're going to go on break, but when we get back, we're going to, speaking of NFL, we're going to talk about some NFL previews and more breaking news in the Ray Rice scandal that's been going on. So we'll be back in a few minutes.
Only 10% of us get enough daily exercise.
And that number is dropping.
Nearly 30% of us are overweight or obese.
As a result, we now have a shorter life expectancy than our parents.
But give us the right start in sports, and we'll never stop.
Learn how at activeforlife.ca.
Hi, we're back on CBL News again. I'm Christian Kafka. This is Benjamin Montazzi. After that fun little trivia show, we're going to talk a bit more about the NFL. So last week we saw that Seattle, after having a heartbreaking loss to the Cowboys, lost again to the St. Louis Rams in their division, who obviously have not performed that well. It was a little bit of a, I won't say conspiracy theorist, but there was a call that should have been made where Trey Mason fumbled the ball for the Rams and looked like Sherman had recovered it, but since the whistle had been blown dead and there's no clear possession, that St. Louis ended up getting the ball and winning the game. So, Ben, do you think the Seattle Seahawks, especially after trading Percy Harvin to the Jets, do you think that they're a legitimate Super Bowl contenders? You've seen them lose these past couple of games, or do you think that they're not going to be in it this year?
I still think no matter what, they're still going to be a Super Bowl contender because they just recently won the Super Bowl. No matter what, they always get, you know, the recent Super Bowl winner always is a contender, and I think Seattle, even though they don't have Percy Harvin, I think they'll still be on sea level with everything.
Yeah, I mean, they have their defense has been letting them down. They still have one of the better defenses, but they haven't really performed that well this season, which is pretty shocking. So.
But maybe the Pierce Harvins, there's stories coming out about him recently, so I think maybe that was one of the problems.
I mean, if you have any kind of disorder in the locker room, that can cause any sort of tension. So I'm looking at Buffalo with Kyle Orton out cornerback. Now it was against the Minnesota Vikings, but they had a great comeback win in the last 2 seconds with a touchdown throw to Sammy Watkins. Do you think the Bills have a chance to make a playoff push in the division with the Patriots? I mean, the Patriots are always the front runner for that division, but New England's been doing really well as of late. Do you think Buffalo has a legitimate shot to try to win the division this year?
I don't think so. Because the AFC, they are a tough league. There's so many in each division. There's at least 2 to 3 good teams. Yeah, especially in the AFC North. There's 3, and I don't think so.
No.
What do you think?
It's tough because they just lost C.J. Spiller for the year, and they lost Fred Jackson for a couple weeks, and we down into like their 3rd and 4th string running backs. I like Kyle Orton as a quarterback. I think he's a smart guy. I think he's underrated, but I don't know if he can carry that team when their offense can be just almost non-existent at times. You know, they have a good defense, but I don't think they'll make a push for a wild card spot. I think they're still a year or 2 removed from being in contention. All right, so Dallas had a good win against the Giants where they were running the ball successfully as they've been all year. They are now 6-1 on the season. They only need 2 more wins to go back to the normal 8 wins they usually have. They've been showing a lot of consistency this season. They look to be what some say the best team in football. Do you agree? Do you think Dallas is the most talented team in the NFL this year? Do you think they are a legitimate Super Bowl contender for the season?
Yes, because Dallas, they just seem like they're a complete team. Like they got strengths everywhere. Every team got a weakness, but they don't show it as much. And I hope to see Dallas do good. I want them to end the critics and do what they need to do and to be a good football team.
And looking at it, DeMarco Murray, who's leading the league with over 900 yards rushing. The next closest guy only has 300 yards less than what he has. I believe that's, man, I feel bad for remembering. So it's not Arian Foster. I can't remember, honestly, to tell you. It's him or Le'Veon Bell. It's around that area. But, yeah, 300 yards separating from first to second. That's a big gap. And some are wondering maybe if he's getting so many carries that he's going to be beat down. But I think he's going to be doing well. And Tony Romo, I believe in the 4th quarter, has a QBR in the high 90s. That's ridiculous. Out of 100, if a QBR that high for the guy who's known for throwing the losing interception, that's an amazing stat to have. Going to your Bengals, after thinking they were the best team after the first 3 weeks, they had a loss where they got blown out by New England, a tie with the Panthers as their kicker could not hit the broadside of a barn, and then they get absolutely stomped by the Colts. I mean, I think it was 170 yards of total offense. I know they don't have A.J. Green or Marvin Jones, but if you are a franchise quarterback, which they think Andy Dalton is, and they gave him that big money contract, you kind of need to help carry your team a little bit, and he has not shown the capability to do that after getting, again, destroyed by the Indianapolis Colts. Do you think that the Bengals, after showing these, 3 weeks of this strenuous viewing for the fans, do you think they have a legitimate shot to still be a division winner?
Yes. I think it just all depends on certain situations. They got a lot of kinks to work out. Clearly at wide receiver, now with one of their wide receivers out for the season, and now with A.J. Green, the toe issue. I feel like there's a lot of issues that they got to take care of, but a lot of teams do bounce back, and I think they could be in the playoffs.
All right, again, the big headline of the week was Peyton Manning surpassed Brett Favre for the most touchdown passes thrown in a career. Brett Favre had 508, and he surpassed now his 510 touchdowns. And he's still going strong. He still could play another year after this if he really wanted to. Do you think anybody will ever beat that record? I mean, that is such a ridiculous amount of touchdowns to throw in your career.
Not recently. I don't think they're going to do it anytime soon. That is unbelievable record to beat, and I think Peyton Manning, like you said, he's got. I think he could go for like 3 or 4 more years, but he, age comes a price. So.
Yeah, I mean, they're saying that he could try to target 600 as the next record, which you get 600, I don't think anybody's going to beat that. I mean, you look at it, he grew up with Reggie Wayne and Marvin Harrison, which is some of one of the best duos you could possibly have. Then he had Pierre Garçon for a couple of years. Still has Reggie Wayne. T.Y. Hilton was T.Y. Hilton came after him, my mistake. But, you know, he had a good receiving core for a long time with Dallas Clark as well as one of the best receiving tight ends. You know, he had, not to take away from anything he's done, but he had such great weapons. I mean, to have that situation with such an intelligent quarterback and great, you know, set of receivers, you're not going to see something like that happen, you know, often. Yeah. Looking into next week, again with the Bengals, they're playing the Ravens. It'll be in Cincinnati. This game could very well decide who's going to win the division. I mean, Pittsburgh, they pulled out a win, but it still looks like it's the Bengals and Ravens to lose the division. That's them. They're the headliners. If A.J. Green does not play in this game, do you think the Bengals can beat the Ravens without A.J. Green? And they've already lost Marvin Jones, of course, for the year.
I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say I believe that, I'm not just being biased, but I feel every time they play the Ravens, A.J. Green is not the number one receiver when they go against the Ravens. It's always the backups. So I feel like, yes, they could pull this off.
You do think they can?
Yes.
All right. Looking at it, Philadelphia is visiting Arizona. Philadelphia, again, is at the top of the division with the Cowboys. Arizona is surprisingly leading the division with the Niners and the Seattle Seahawks, which no one, I don't think, saw coming. Looking at Philadelphia with their high-powered offense, Arizona with their pretty stout defense. Who do you think wins that matchup?
I think Arizona could maybe pull it off. I really do. They really surprised a lot of people with their great record that they have right now. I think if they stay where they're at now, they could be. They could be in the playoffs. I see them in the playoffs, and I see them winning the matchup.
All right, looking at it, Pittsburgh had won last week, and now they're going to be playing Indianapolis. Pittsburgh is reminding me a lot of the previous Dallas Cowboy teams. They can look great one week, and then just look horrendous. I don't think they've put 2 games together to win in a row. They just had a win, you know, pull out this past week against Houston, which honestly Houston gave away. Pittsburgh has so much talent on the offensive side of the ball, and the defense is letting them down somewhat. But do you think that Pittsburgh has any shot of pulling out a win against the Colts, who are the #1 offense in the league? And do you think the Steelers really are a playoff contender? Do you think they're just going to finish 8-8, finish average?
I could see them. I could see them being average. I could see them hitting 500, and that's it. But as the matchup goes, I think it'll be a great matchup. I really do think so. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they edged out a win, and the Colts dominated the Bengals. But I feel like who's home?
It's the pardon me, I think it's at Pittsburgh.
It's at Pittsburgh.
Yes.
I could see Pittsburgh pulling it off, but it'll be a great matchup to see.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. I think the Colts, just because the Steelers' defense has not been there. They've been missing some of their younger linebacking core they've drafted the past couple years with Ryan Shazier this year out of Ohio State and Jarvis Jones. But yeah, the Colts, their offense is pretty talented. They can run the ball pretty decently. Their defense is pretty underrated. Breaking news with the Ray Rice allegations that happened. He is planning to not only appeal his suspension, but he's also filing a grievance suit against the Ravens, saying that he was wrongfully dismissed from the team. His attorney is saying that he basically had double jeopardy, that he got 2 punishments for just 1 crime. And under the NFL judiciary system, you cannot be charged twice for just 1 offense, just like it is in any sort of court of system. So. He's looking to try to get about $3.5 million from the Ravens, try to get that. I think he will win the suit just because he does have a valid point. He had initially been suspended 2 games, and then the new policy came out saying that it was 6 games for the first offense and then indefinite for the second. Well, instead of just moving it to a 6-game suspension or keeping it 2, they automatically suspend him indefinitely, which is going against their policy. So he has a very good chance to win this suit, and he could honestly play this season. His suspension, if he wins, his appeal will be over. He could fill in for a team for the second half of the year, and he'll probably be running with a vengeance if he does. It's a very gray area with whether I personally believe that domestic violence abusers, as I know you said before, they shouldn't be allowed to play. But if it's the policy is the policy. If you're not going to follow it, you're going to end up facing the consequences, which is why again Roger Goodell's been questioned so much with that. But it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But that is all we have for CBL News today. I am Christian Kafka. This is Benjamin Montazzi. Thanks for having us.